Good morning, good afternoon, or good night whenever you are listening to this. And welcome back to another episode of the Ancient Esoterica Podcast. My name is Sarah, and today we're going to talk about all things purpose, your life purpose, what that means to me, and how I've really shifted the meaning of what purpose is. And now if you're watching this on video, you will notice I've got a little tattoo here. Got this for my birthday a few weeks ago because it's been a while. It's been like a month since I filmed one of these. And I feel like this tattoo was very much an initiation into really accepting and stepping into my purpose and what that means for me. Because I very much see myself as someone who helps people remember. And before I get into all of this, I want to start by really defining what purpose means to me and how I've really shifted that identity or that meaning recently. Because I feel like a lot of us see our purpose as what we do in this world, what we do for work, how we serve others, and basically like our career paths, which I do believe that is one part of our purpose. But what it really comes down to, I feel like, is a blend of who we are being when we are being of service. So not even necessarily what we do in service, but who we are being. And the other part of that is our purpose is a frequency, more so than anything we do or even anything we take action as, anything we do. The reason why I believe our purpose is a frequency is because I've seen for myself that the more I have tried to define my purpose and really wrap an identity around it, the more impermanent I realize that thing is. Because there was one season of my life where my purpose was, or what I did was, I was a tarot reader. I was a professional tarot reader and an Akashic Records reader at a metaphysical shop in Florida. And then after that, I transitioned to doing online work, and I was primarily an Akashic Records reader, plus also I did psychic and tarot readings. And then I moved back home to Massachusetts, and then I became a lunch lady, and I was very much of service that way, while also doing my Akashic Records readings and my tarot readings online. And now over the past year, I've been doing a shamanic life coaching certification program. And that has been a purposeful work path that I have been stepping into. Basically, all of these have followed with an identity. Like even back in the day in 2019, when I first started awakening, I really identified as being a truth seeker and a spiritual teacher, or I really wanted to step into being a spiritual teacher. So what I did was I would post on Instagram, I would get together with friends and host what I called Woke School, where I would get everyone a pizza, we'd all sit around and we would talk about our lives, and I would teach them about different spiritual concepts and topics and basically answer their questions about the world, about spirituality, about whatever. And so that was an identity and a role that I played back in the day. And then for a while, I identified as being more of a teacher and a healer and, a psychic. Someone who could see beyond the veil and who would help sort of bridge the gap between the spirit realms and the physical realms. At this point in my journey, I've got all the certifications, I've done a lot of the things that I've wanted to do, filled a lot of roles that I've always wanted to fill and try out and experience, but I'm at this point where I want to sort of blend all these things and create, I'm hearing the word, an amalgamation of all of these, because although I tried on some of these different roles for different seasons, I feel like they all come together to create a frequency, which is the frequency of the authentic me. because some days I want to, use my tarot cards and really tune into the symbolism of the cards and see what messages Spirit wants to bring through. But other days, I really want to dive into starseed lineages and the soul readings that I do and a lot of the Akashic work that I do. And then other days, I really want to tune into the shamanic wisdom and the teachings that I've learned through this shamanic life coaching certification program to really help myself come back into my body and to honor the earth plane and all of the energies and the lineages that are present on this plane. Because a lot of my work with this Akashic Record stuff and my psychic readings has been very etheric, very much ungrounded from the physical plane and very much grounded within the etheric, spiritual, astral realms and the higher planes. So that shamanic wisdom and a lot of the somatic practices that I've really fallen in love with, like breath work and ecstatic dance and mindful movement, yoga, those things, they've really helped me to come back to the earth plane and to bring these frequencies that feel like me and that I've really tuned into and connected with in very personal ways, to bring those higher frequencies down into my body and into this incarnation as Sarah. And so back to what I was initially saying about purpose and about how I believe it's not just what we do, it is really a frequency. And it's the frequency that we came to planet Earth to anchor and to bring. It's the unique roles and that we came here to play and the puzzle piece that we hold that fits into the greater picture. Because what I've seen in my Akashic Records work for clients and for myself is that we all do hold a unique soul frequency. We all have a divine soul blueprint, which details basically how we are designed to show up, express, and create with energy in the physical experience, in our incarnations. So this can be the different roles that we may play at different points in our lives. Because as you can see, especially I feel like as we go through a spiritual awakening, so many of us just want to discover our purpose. We want to know who we're supposed to be because who we've been being and who we've been told to be does not align and does not resonate with who we feel ourselves to be and what we feel is possible for ourselves. But I feel like we approach this from a very linear, logical mind perspective in that we have to find what we are meant to do. And we kind of overlay and apply these purpose teachings and this search for purpose to the programming and the conditioning that we've received and that we've experienced thus far in our earthly lives. And what I mean by that is, we go to school and we're taught that you have to go to college, you have to pick a major or a major and a minor, and you have to graduate, and then you have to get a job within that major or minor, and you lock yourself into that job indefinitely. So we're trying to find, what we're going to do, how we're going to make money, what our role is going to be. And we sort of logically fit ourselves into a box and think that we have to do just that one thing forever. And that's why I feel like so many of us go through midlife crises or start to really experience a lot of anxiety or depression or unfulfillment within our matrix roles and within these jobs, because we're trying to force ourselves to stay in one frequency and in one energy forever, to just do the same thing over and over again every day. And now for some of us, especially for earther souls or souls who originate on this world, on this plane, on the earth plane, that can work. That repetition, that consistency, that routine. If you look at a lot of the older generations, many of them thrive in these career paths. However, there are many souls who are here on the earth plane at this time who do not resonate with those paths. And that's because I believe we're not supposed to apply this logical one-track mind to our purpose and to, how we show up in the world and sort of how we serve others. Because for many of us, that is meant to change. Like, I remember when I first started getting the guidance to step away from being a professional psychic, I fought it. And through my lens of logic, I did not understand that because it was working for me thus far. But there was an aspect of my soul that was coming in and that was showing me that I was ready to take bigger steps and move into something greater, something beyond what I had been doing. And I resisted that. And it wasn't until my car literally shit the bed that I had to step away from this job and had to take time for myself and to really rethink and restructure and make a new plan for myself. Because being a tarot reader and being a psychic reader in the psychic shop, it was not who I was meant to be forever. And now looking back, I see that that is not a role that I will continue to play. Yes, I will always offer psychic readings. I will always offer my Akashic Records readings, at least from this, perspective now. But being a resident reader in a shop, that does not resonate with me right now. Even if there's a part of me that wants to go back to what's familiar and wants to, go back to those roles that, were very safe and easy and I know how to do them. That's not how we expand, and that's not how we really walk the path of purpose and spiritual alignment. Some roles and some jobs and some aspects of our purpose will serve us for a season, and some of them will carry throughout our lives, being expressed in different forms in different ways. But I really do believe we're not meant to just do one thing for the rest of our lives. And that's why I see that, your purpose isn't to be, a psychic reader or a teacher. Your purpose is a frequency. It's the frequency you emit when you're doing those things. And that frequency, for the most part, doesn't change very much. And so let me explain that a little more in depth. So in my Divine Soul Blueprint within the Akashic Records, the ways in which I primarily express energy is through two parts. I hold two energy centers within my blueprint. One is the fifth energy center, which resonates with speaking, communicating, teaching, learning, and very much like words have substance. I'm a natural channel. People with the fifth energy center naturally are very open to channeling spirit guides, their higher self, and really channeling whatever wants to come through in the moment. And they're lifelong lovers of learning and of sharing what they learn. And so the other aspect of my Divine Soul Blueprint, the other energy center, is the seventh energy center, which is very much being in tune with the higher realms, being very highly sensitive to energy, vibes, all of those things, and being very much tuned into the realms of possibility, the imaginal realms. So this is how I'm very much able to tune into past lives and tune into future possibilities for clients when I'm doing Akashic work, and so much more. There's so much more to both of these qualities of energies that I express, but that's the general gist of it. And so I have seen that I very much do express these qualities of energy throughout my life and throughout the many roles that I've played. Through my psychic readings and through my coaching and through my Akashic work, I'm very much able to teach and communicate and channel. And I'm able to tune into those imaginal realms, see people at soul level, tune into my heightened sensitivities to really feel what's going on beneath the surface of the situation. And so those energies don't have to just be channeled in tarot readings, in Akashic readings, in shamanic life coaching. And through my realization of this, I've really opened myself up to a lot of my older passions. Like when I was a kid, I always had such a passion for visual arts and music. And I've really been tuning into possibly writing music, writing lyrics, and, making songs. And I do really want to learn how to play instruments at some point. So I've been really dabbling in things like piano and drum beats and things like that. But also, the biggest passion that I have reclaimed and something that very much feels like purposeful work for me is writing. Primarily writing long form content like books and articles for my website. Because I love Instagram and I love sharing my little blips of downloads and knowledge, but it's very much consumer based and it's very much quick fix based. And I can jive with that, but there's a part of me that really craves expression in more long form content, as I said. And so this realization and this shift in my life towards working on more long-term projects, working on more long-form content that isn't completed in just 15 minutes, that doesn't just really channel through and just, you click post and instant gratification, there we go, it's out there. Slowing down and working on something every day, writing a book, which I've started doing just over a month ago, writing a book and writing this long form content for my website, it's really helped me to reclaim these aspects of myself that can't fit into a box and can't fit into that short term instant gratification content. And now, just 1 minute. Wasn't trying to fight the landscapers to be heard. But so reclaiming this part of myself that has always wanted to be an author and that has always loved and valued books and reading and writing, it has showed me that this is a big part of who I am and what I am here to express on the earth plane during this current life, this current incarnation. And if I had locked myself in the box of being a psychic, being a coach, being a healer, an Akashic Records reader, whatever, I never would have opened myself up to the possibility of being an author, writing books, being seen and heard in these different ways, which very much feel resonant to my being. And so this is why I've really come to the realization that our purpose is not one role. And I've always said this whenever purpose has come up in my in-person psychic readings and in a lot of typed online ones as well, this truth has always channeled through me. Our purpose is not a spiritual job assignment. It is the unique roles and frequencies that we came here to play and to emit in our human experience. Now, these roles will change. And I've always channeled this, even though I haven't fully applied it to myself because I was really still seeing purpose through that logical frame. I really have been able to take a lot of pressure off the sense of the idea of purpose through seeing that it's not even about doing the same thing every day. It's not about, showing up, I'm writing a book now, so we're going to write a book today, going to write a book today, going to write a book today. Or, I started a podcast, got to film a podcast, YouTube. It's not about such regimented copy paste, routine ways of doing things. It's really about, wake up every day and how does my unique, authentic frequency want to channel through me today? Do I want to work on this book a little bit? Do I want to film a YouTube video a little bit? And is who I am showing up as every day a representation of this unique, authentic, personal, soulful frequency? And so, back to my tattoo, as I was saying before, this tattoo is very much a symbol of my life's work. I've really adopted it as a symbol of my business. So you may see in all of my YouTube videos and all over my website, we've got the beautiful Eye of Horus. And the reason why this symbol has always really resonated with me was because of the ancient tale of the battle between Horus and Set, and, the destruction of the Eye of Horus and just all of that. I want to do a more formal video on that because I feel like I'm going to butcher the story if I say it now, but all in all, it really represents the reclamation of our intuition and of our personal subjective truth. And this tattoo really symbolizes me being on the path to truth, my commitment to truth, to emitting my soul's frequency, and to always speaking and serving all in truth. And the reason why this means so much to me is because I have had seasons of my life where I have been desperately seeking the truth. A lot of this was in the beginning of my awakening when I was really discovering what was going on beneath the surface of, the news in America and everything that's kind of projected as like business as usual in our world. When I began discovering the dark underbelly of Hollywood, of, the deep state, all these things, it really gave me a new lease on life and showed me that there is some more to life and that there is something here for me. Because at that time, before 2019, before I started this quest for truth, I feel like I was really lost and felt really purposeless. I had just been through this accident, had these crazy burn scars that were so much more painful and so much more noticeable back then. And I couldn't really work a normal job. I still can't. And I just felt like there was nothing here on the earth plane for me. However, I have really reclaimed my sovereignty and my authenticity in this incarnation through tuning into my passions and through finding what I really enjoy, not that what everyone else tells me I should enjoy and what I should do. And through awakening my authenticity and through setting out on this path to truth and spiritual study, spiritual connection and practice, I have really healed a lot within me. And I found that these things that were holding me back, these things that were keeping me in anxiety and depression and self-hatred, self-harm, all of those things, it really was a lack of a sense of purpose. And if you're feeling this, if you're feeling lost, directionless, like you're tired of being a cog in a machine, you're tired of just doing things for money, and you really want to find your purpose, I really invite you to go on the journey of knowing thyself. Because when you know who you are at soul level, who you are at your core, your true self, nobody else can really tell you what to do. And if others come in with advice or, have something they want to say or want to point you in a certain direction or help you figure things out, you can run their opinions and what they're saying through this lens of truth and through knowing yourself. And so, for example, for me, I know that I love talking to people and I love sharing knowledge and I love being in my authentic frequency because it really inspires others to do the same and gives others a permission slip to be themselves as well. So for example, I love wearing my, funky outfits like my hippie pants and my band t-shirts or whatever. Because I feel like, especially where I live now, a lot of the people around me just dressed very like cookie cutter, black leggings and a tank top, or, Lululemon leggings and matching zip up. It's very like bland, neutral, like all black, all white, like everything matches, this brand is releasing the same clothes as this brand. It's very cookie cutter, like I said. And that's okay. If that's comfortable for people, that's great. A lot of us do want to just blend in and just, fit the mold that society has presented to us because it's easy and safe and other people are doing it. So there's less of a chance of being judged. But there's a but. There's a lot of people on planet Earth, I feel like, that also want to express themselves. They want to wear the funky pants. They want to wear the rainbow tie-dye t-shirt. They want to wear the mala beads or whatever. And I feel like when I dress authentically and I feel good in it because I feel so comfortable in what I wear, and I never dress to impress anymore. I never dress to fit a mold or to look good. I dress in what feels good and what looks authentic for me. And I feel like that gives so many people a permission slip to do the same, where all they've seen externally was just everyone wearing those same outfits, the same Lululemon leggings, and they think they have to, even though they hate them and even though they're uncomfortable. And what they really want to do is just wear sweatpants and a t-shirt, but there's programming and conditioning in their mind that tells them that's not safe. Well, if you walk into the smoothie shop and you see the silly little hippie girl who's dressing authentically and who feels good in her skin, who looks confident and who's emitting a frequency of authenticity and loving themselves, you're going to go home and you're going to put on those sweatpants and you're going to feel good and you're going to love yourself and you're going to emit that authentic frequency. And so that's a big part of my purpose, I feel like, is giving people permission to be themselves and to be authentic, to wear what they want, to wear what's comfortable, and to do what feels good for them. But that's not the only thing I'm here to do. And if I let my logical mind say, okay, that's my purpose now, I have to just, focus hardcore on what I'm wearing and who I'm being, then that actually takes away from the purpose. Now, you may be asking why. Well, because the more we try to control things with our mind, with our logic, and the more we try to create these cycles of repetition, of doing the same thing over and over again, which is very egoic, and it's very much how our ego keeps us safe and within our comfort zone. Well, you may have heard the phrase, all dreams die in the comfort zone. And I very much believe that even if I were to hyper focus on what I'm wearing and who I'm being, it would sort of like tarnish and water down my authentic frequency compared to if I'm just flowing with it and just allowing it to be whatever it wants to be. And like I said, not trying to control it, I always have a better result. Just like I said, if I were to try and wake up and say, okay, I am a podcaster now, that is my only identity, and if I tried to force podcasts out of me, then the past 4 weeks, I would have released episodes that did not resonate with me, and that did not flow through me, and that did not feel authentic to me. And that's not my goal with my life's work. That is not my goal with my purpose. My purpose is really... my intention behind my purpose is to really be authentic and to share what is authentic to me, what I'm moving through in my journey as this human called Sarah, and this YouTube channel and this business called Ancient Esoterica. It's supposed to be a journey. It's not supposed to be rinse and repeat, you get what you get, the same thing every day. It's supposed to change and it's supposed to evolve as I do. Because if I stay the same and if I keep myself in this little matrix box, then my content is going to get watered down. My being is going to get watered down. You're not going to get the same truthful, vulnerable, authentic version of me that you're getting right here, right now. I do see value in scripting things and in, following a script and planning things out. Just like how I don't want to share that full Eye of Horus story right now, because I feel like I can do a better job if I really tune into that story and sort of like take notes on it first, rather than just, picking out little random like thought bubbles that are just cycling around my consciousness. So there's such value in preparing and in planning and scripting some things. But I've also found that the best content that I've seen from others and from myself is not planned. It's not scripted. It's just all right, I've got this idea, let's sit down and let's create it in the moment. And now that is how I very much reclaimed my feminine expression and my feminine polarity, which is that divine chaos. It's that spontaneity, creativity, that really like spiritual side of life that's unpredictable and that just flows, unconditionally and unapologetically. Because in the past, I was very much in my masculine structure, in that, okay, we wake up, it's 8 a.m., we do this. Okay, now it's 10 a.m., we do this, and we have to do this every day. And that very like structured masculine expression. And so I very much pendulum swung out of that into my feminine. And now I'm really trying to find balance, because I do see that because I haven't created the structure and because I haven't really created enough of a plan and enough, like I said, structure, that I didn't film a podcast for 4 weeks. And I was very much in that void space, and I feel like there were some podcast episodes that could have come out of me if I applied that structure, but I didn't. And now moving forward, I'm very grateful for everything I've learned and for everything that I've applied, because I do want to keep up with this and I do want to be a more professional podcaster. But I feel like I'm not going to get there unless I do apply some of that masculine structure. And so that teaching I've really applied to everything in my life over these past few weeks, where I've seen that when I do, apply a little bit of structure, enough so that my feminine essence can flow freely within, that groundedness and that stability, it has helped me to get so ahead, more so than I ever have. So these past few weeks, as I mentioned, I've been writing a book. And so the structure that I've created for myself is I've been walking down to a coffee shop in the center of town near me every day, pretty much every day. I've only missed 4 days in 3 weeks. And those 4 days I had family parties and had other obligations. So I wasn't able to really stick to that structure, which was good. But every day I've gone down to this coffee shop and I've created this frame that when I'm there, I'm working on my book. And as a result, I've typed over 130 pages in just a few weeks. And it's really good. It's really like flowing through me, and it's something that I'm very proud of. And so because I've created that masculine structure to allow my free-flowing, chaotic, feminine, spiritual energy to flow through and channel through, I have really gotten a lot done. And so it is my intention with my podcast and with my YouTube channel as well to create set days where I know I'm going to film something. I'm not going to force it out of me, and if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to do it. But I do want to create more of that structure so that I can allow things to flow through me, but so that I don't get lost in the chaos. And so I feel like the same thing goes for purpose. The more I create the structure that I love to speak, I love to write, I love to communicate, and I also love to be psychic and to channel and to tune into the imaginal realms and the infinite possibility and use my higher centers, my third eye and my crown chakra and all of that. The more I create basically the structures to express my authenticity and to express my purpose through creating offerings of coaching, creating, containers so that I can coach people every day and use my gifts to help inspire others and to help people push through their blocks and to really connect with a sense of purpose and to know thyself and use shamanic tools and all of that. Through creating these coaching containers and my Akashic Records offerings, I've created that structure to channel my purpose through. And I've disentangled my purpose from being just one thing to being just the authentic and unique expression of me and of my true frequency. So some days that looks like being an author. And at the same time, it looks like being an Akashic Records reader and a shamanic life coach and a psychic and a content creator, a YouTuber, all of the things. Because we are not just one thing. We are not just human. We are all multidimensional beings here on Earth having a human experience. And so since I've gotten this tattoo, and since I've really committed to being the most authentic version of myself, to not going back to working a 9-to-5 job, to not putting myself in a box, and to not being who others want me to be, I have really been able to see a shift in my life. Because before, I was really trying to control everything. Like, I was smoking too much weed and I was trying to control it, trying to force myself to stop. But since going and writing my book, I can't rip my bong in the middle of this coffee shop. So I've naturally shifted my identity to being Sarah. Not to being a weed smoker, not to being someone who needs to control my smoking and someone who needs to control everything. I've just become more of myself. And as a result, my lungs have healed naturally. I had such a bad cough, I couldn't breathe, felt like my lungs were collapsing, and I feel like I'm getting back to normal. And I take maybe 1 rip a day, if that. And I've been eating edibles at night to help me sleep. And I've even gone days where I haven't smoked at all. And the more I look at that, the more I'm like, holy freaking crap. Like, how did I do it? Like, this has been a war, something that I have been trying to control for years, because I could tell that my smoking habit was getting out of hand and I was using it to numb and suppress things and whatever. But through just being my most authentic self, everything that wasn't authentic to me and everything I was trying to control naturally just settled itself out. And I feel so content and so comfortable not being in control. Whereas before, it felt like I had to control everything in order to feel safe. And I felt so out of control in my life that I just wanted to hide and escape and just get away from the density and the intensity of the earth plane. However, I've really, like I said, become comfortable and have leaned into not being in control and in letting my soul and in letting Great Spirit just flow through me and direct me towards how I can best be of service to others every day and in every moment. And sometimes being of service is just smiling at someone when you're walking by them on the street, or holding a door open for them, or, throwing a quarter in the tip jar for someone, or just asking the person taking your order how their day is going. Those are definitely aspects of living a purposeful life and being of service to others. But that doesn't mean that every single person you see you have to say hi to, because then, that's when we're trying to control and we can be more in that hyperactive energy. So like I said, opening myself to just the flow of whatever authentic frequency wants to flow through me, and just showing up and being of service in whatever ways feels the best and the most expansive and the most open for me every day. That is how I have really discovered my purpose and how I've really embodied it in everyday life. And so if this resonates with you, I definitely invite you to like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, definitely check out my website. I've got a bunch of offerings on there. I have a bunch of amazing articles. I actually just released my first fiction story on my knowledge base on my website the other day. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's ancientesoterica.com. All my services, all of my offerings, and my articles are on that website. And this book that I'm writing right now should be out within a few months. No promises, because it's very much a path that is divinely guided and is kind of unfolding moment by moment. But this book is freaking amazing, I will say. It's something that I have wanted to do for years, And it feels like it is going to be of such service to so many different people who walk so many different paths of life. I really feel like this book is a path to truth. And what I always sort of deem a path to truth being is a direct connection with spirit and with God, source, whatever you want to call it, and a path to just direct connection to the truth of what is in any situation. And what this book is, it's a story about my childhood, just a little bit, a few stories from my childhood, my near-death experience, my coma dreams, being in the hospital for 3 months, like the in-depth story of that experience, and my eventual spiritual awakening that unfolded after my hospital stay and integrating into society and all of that. And through sharing my stories, you learn so much. Like I share about, when I was a flat earther for a few months and a lot of the crazy conspiracy theories and like fear traps that I fell into when I was on my quest for knowledge and was really in my spiritual seeking shoes, and just all the stories of my life up until this point that helped me to heal my suicidal ideations, to heal my depression, to heal anxiety, to heal chronic pain, all these transformations that I've moved through, they're all encoded and shared within this book through stories and through just practical life experiences. It's truly one of a kind. I haven't really seen a book like this other than David Icke's work and a couple other authors and speakers and teachers that I've really looked up to thus far in my life. So yeah. So definitely be on the lookout for the book in a few months. It's going to be published on Amazon. And yeah, that's all I'll share for right now because that's all I know. But I am sending you all so much love. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey and on your path to truth and your path to discovering purpose, because it is not easy. And I feel like all luck is being in alignment with your source, with your truth, your authenticity, your divine soul blueprint. We align with luck when we are aligned with our true selves. And luck is sort of just a byproduct of that. So I think I'll leave it at that. I am sending you all so much love. Peace out and namaste.